LinkedIn is the best place for business to business on the market today. And if you're not on it, you're missing out because simply put, LinkedIn just works for B2B sales. So today, I'm gonna take you through 3 huge areas to either improve your LinkedIn presence or get you started on the platform fast and make B2B sales through the platform right now. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the different things that you can do to improve your business through marketing and sales. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you subscribe, hit that like button, and comment the best B2B strat that you have ever found using LinkedIn, and let's get started. The first big area to talk about is optimizing your profile. This sounds really basic, but it's super huge on LinkedIn. Let's just go through a quick scenario. So you're going through your day, you're browsing on LinkedIn, suddenly you get an email from somebody. It's somebody you don't know, you've never met them before, but the proposal that they have sounds kind of interesting. What is the first thing that you're gonna do? You're gonna go to their profile. And this exactly right here is why contact on LinkedIn is more effective than cold calling. Because when you get a cold in mail, you can just go to their profile, you can see who they are, what they offer, where they are, what kind of things that they do on LinkedIn, how they interact, etc. Whereas on cold calling, you're getting a call from somebody you've never met, you can't verify who they are, you don't know where they are, you're never gonna know any of that information, and it's a little more mysterious, it's a little harder to trust them, right? So LinkedIn already insets that trust that you can have with people, which means that your profile needs to be a pitch to the person that you want to attract, not a boring resume. I talk about that a little bit more in this video. You can check that out if you want. But in any case, you just need to make sure that this is customer-centric language. You're speaking to people and not just putting your accomplishments on your resume like you would on a piece of paper that you're applying to a job. That's boring. Your profile is all about the content. So that means you need to write it like a sales page, not like a list of historical events. Think of your headline and your summary as lead hooks, right? So these are the little bits of information like on the top of a sales page that are gonna drive people to be more interested and moving down the page further to get further closer towards a decision, right? Which means that you need to write in customer-centric language, as I've said 500 times now. It actually might even be worth hiring a copywriter that understands LinkedIn and SEO to really get a lot of drive out of this and get a lot of impact very quickly. That actually might be the most effective way for you to do this rather than trying to learn about copywriting. But if you want some copywriting tips, you can check out this video here to get a little bit more information about copywriting and SEO, right? All right, next area, content. Content, content, content. Why make content? Well, first, there's this thing called the mere exposure effect. So the idea here is that you are exposing your brand to more people, which is gonna make them more likely to buy from you. By merely exposing your brand to them, you're increasing the likelihood of conversion, okay? But if you're now adding the knowledge that you're showing to them with your content and that mere exposure effect, you're just doubling down on that likelihood that they're gonna buy from you. So keep exposing your brand, keep showing knowledge to people, and you're going to be able to improve that likelihood of conversion, right? But I do wanna point out here also that you wanna make content for LinkedIn. So it's obviously the thing here where you repurpose content for all these different platforms, but you don't want to just duplicate it. You need to repurpose it to fit the platform. Because if you're just doing the same thing on Instagram and Facebook as you're doing on LinkedIn, then it's not really going to fit the community at all, right? It's an entirely different mindset, and it just doesn't make sense to take a bunch of beautiful pictures and just slap them up on LinkedIn. I can tell you from personal experience that that doesn't work. So what types of posts are there on LinkedIn that you can take advantage of here? The first and the highest engagement level is video. So video has the highest engagement over a long period of time, but not many people are using it. So if you're using video, you are already at a huge advantage because it's just not a lot of the platform that's still using it. And it drives more engagement because it's more personal, because it's you talking to the camera or you building that interaction specifically. It's like me right now. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the camera, and I'm talking to you specifically. It's the same exact thing. People feel like they're speaking to them. You're giving them that value, and you're giving them a lot of things to walk away with, and they get to know you, right? So that mere exposure effect comes back into play because they get to know who you are a little bit more. Now, is high production value really necessary here? I would say yes and no. A lot of people say, no, production value is not necessary. I kind of disagree with that. So content absolutely needs to come first, but I find that if the production value isn't somewhat good, then people aren't gonna stay on the page because they're gonna think that you're just some amateur nobody, right? And it really is about that first 2 seconds of exposure. Because if you are in those first 2 seconds of exposure showing a higher production value, even a modicum of production value, then people are gonna be more interested to stay because they're gonna think that you have higher value because you have higher standards, right? So a lot of people will say content first and no interest in production value. I totally disagree with that. Content first, yes, production value also matters. The next one is live. So I put this second because it's very time dependent. It actually always goes to the top of your feed. It always gets a notification to all of your followers, but it's time dependent. So when the live is done, it's gone, right? And so it's great for engagement while you're in the moment, but after that, it's not really around anymore. And so it doesn't make sense to keep that in the top place. But it really is a very important way of building engagement and building a natural engagement, because in videos, you're editing, even editing a little bit. In lives, it's live. And so you're talking directly to people and they feel like they're getting the real you. All right, the next area to focus on, I really highly advise you do a lot of this, is text posts. This is the second biggest long-term content type on LinkedIn, and people love these mini blogs that they can just look at right in their news feed and then move on. It gets the highest level of engagement, it gets a lot of comments, a lot of stuff like that, especially if it's like some sort of knowledge hack that shows you how to be really successful at something super fast, or it shows some sort of vulnerability about some failure you've had or some weakness that you have that you're working to overcome. People absolutely love that. In fact, what I do to kind of hack this a little bit is I'll take my Instagram content, which is a lot of carousels with a lot of text post data in there, and I will just kind of take the text in there and I'll just put it in as a text post on LinkedIn. So it's the same idea, it's just in a different format, and people eat it up. They absolutely love it. So give that a shot. Next one down the ladder is images. This is not Instagram, guys. This gets a low level of engagement because it's not really a featured part of the post. It's not the same, whereas on Instagram, it's all about the picture. LinkedIn is all about the information, okay? And so it's gonna get a lower level of engagement because people don't really see it as much. They're not really as interested in it. So I wouldn't really use this one too much. So last on the ladder is content curation. This is last on the ladder because sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. It really depends on what you're doing. If you're linking internal things and you're curating the content that's all internal to LinkedIn, you're gonna get higher engagement because you're sharing articles that are within the platform and that are with other people who've already posted. And so those people are gonna be excited that you're sharing, etc. Whereas external is things that are taking people off of the LinkedIn platform, and LinkedIn doesn't want you to go off the LinkedIn platform. And so they're gonna push that down in the priority because they don't want you to leave the site. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the third optimization, which is direct lead generation. This is done all the time on LinkedIn. It's a huge part of the LinkedIn culture, and there's really two ways that people do this. So the first one is InMail. This is a big, big product for LinkedIn because you can buy a certain number of LinkedIn InMails, or they come with one of your upper plans, etc. But the results I find are kind of mixed because it really depends on how you're doing it. It's usually better than direct email selling because there's that anonymity problem again, where on email, you don't really know who the person is. It could be just a regular box or something you don't know. But on LinkedIn, you can go to that profile, you can see who that person is and get a feel for them, right? But sending out obviously canned messages is still gonna be a waste of time because people are gonna be able to tell that it's a canned message, that it's the same thing you've sent to 500 people, they're gonna move on. So you want it to be as personalized as possible. You wanna actually have looked at this person, at their profile, at what it is that they do and how you can solve their problem or how you think you can solve their problem, and then contact them, right? So sponsored InMail posts, for the same reason, are not very attractive to most users because this is a messaging platform and people don't want to feel like they're being sold to right away, right? It's kind of annoying. The other direct lead generation process here is direct connection. So there's a much higher likelihood of success when you're doing a direct connection because people are showing interest in you, you're showing interest in them, you're building a relationship, and you're pre-qualifying them. You're not just trying to sell to them straight away, you're trying to build a relationship, okay? So if you can directly connect, you're more likely to have success by doing that pre-qualification. I do want to say there's one other thing that people do on LinkedIn a lot of the time. It's rip emails. So they'll use hunter.io or Contact Out is another one that does this. Do not do this. So the reason that I say this is not only because it's not always effective, it's kind of annoyingly inaccurate, but it's also because if you're doing that, LinkedIn can tell they're gonna ban you, okay? So then you're not in any advantage at all, okay? So they're getting banned for doing that. Hunter.io got kicked out of it completely, I think, a few months ago. And you're gonna have a problem too, because you're not gonna be able to contact anybody or access the platform at all if you're doing a lot of that seedy stuff. So just don't do it. So there you go. Those are the best ways to optimize your LinkedIn profile to get the most out of it for B2B sales. If you want even more information about LinkedIn and how to get the most out of this platform, check out my description for my ultimate guide to LinkedIn. And don't forget to tell me your best B2B strategy in the comments. Which one got you the most results in the past? Which one are you gonna use in the future? Just let me know, and make sure that you subscribe, hit that like, let me know in the comments if you like this video, and I will catch you in the next one.